What is going on, everybody? Avatar here. And as we all know, yesterday was Destiny's 10-year anniversary from it launching. And Bungie went ahead and dropped a couple articles. So today we're going to kind of dive into those and check it out because it does seem to be some pretty good changes, which should hopefully help make the gameplay more unique and different going forward. So we're looking at Codename Frontiers right now with the Codename Apollo expansion and Codename Behemoth expansion coming out next year. First one should be dropping summer of 2025, with that being Apollo, including stories, locations, weapons, gear, armor, new raids, and dungeons as well. Seasonal update with new and reprised activities, which I see that, and I'm hoping, like, does that mean Menagerie's coming back? Because that was so much fun, and I would love to see something like that or that return. New modifiers and challenges, sandbox meta, new events. Of course, there's going to be a rewards pass as well with exotic weapon and ornament, legendary weapon and armor ornaments, gear upgrade, kind of the same thing we're getting right now with our basic like season passes. So summer 25 will be a major update, Codename Arsenal. And then in the fall of 2025, Codename Surge, another major update. Following the 2025 winter expansion, big update again, and then an update again in the spring of the following year. So basically, they are taking the yearly expansion model that they had been doing that is kind of stale and doing 2 expansions per year with 4 major updates, which, by the way, are free content. So that's really exciting. I'm sure, we'll still have to pay for either expansions and or the rewards pass, but major updates, probably similar to Into the Light or something around that realm, is going to be free. So we love that. So right now it says, over the next few months, we will be sharing more info with you on Frontiers, which is how we are describing major innovations coming to Destiny over the next few years, starting with our next expansion, Codename Apollo. We have several dev insight deep dives going in live today, and we'll continue to add more to this list over the weeks and months to come. So we will be checking out a couple of them. I got the tabs open right there. We'll dive into those as well. So excited to check those ones out. Of course, Tyson Green's coming in, and as well as Allison Lurs to give us a little bit of insight on what they're thinking about and their future plans for Destiny 2. Main goal basically is to be more transparent in their communications with us, which is probably why they're releasing this so early. Obviously, they want the community to look at it and view it and then also give them feedback. I'm sure they have a generalized idea of where they're headed, but it doesn't hurt to have your community's feedback and where you're wanting to go. That means basically they're going to be sharing more work more frequently, even if we see their mistakes and false starts along the way, which also transparency is wonderful. We love that. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we go deeper into development. Ultimately, this game is yours too, and we want you to see it more of how it's made and why. So dev insights are going to be core game activities, core game rewards, as well as portal. So first, let's jump on in to core game activities. We'll do a little TLDR. I know a lot of people are making videos on this one. I don't want to make this one super long and read every word. So core game activities feature a wider variety of new and updated activities across many types. With an updated selection, every major update, challenge customization, which will provide a way to adjust activity difficulty with better rewards for those seeking more challenge. To me, that reads, you pick and customize how hard you want it to be. The harder, the better the rewards, which I love to see that. The new portal screen allows for quick access to core game activities, making it easier to find what you want to play. That right there just says, hey, we want new people in our game and let's make it as seamless as possible for that experience for them to come on and actually play. So in the past, Destiny releases, all attention has been on a relatively small offering of newly introduced seasonal activities, most often with a narrow range of difficulty options, if any. Reward and objectives have focused all purposeful play into these activities to the exclusion of most others. As a result, the ritual game quickly becomes stale and is exhausted of worthwhile rewards, and any pursuit requires a deep knowledge of Destiny or online guides to find worthwhile rewards in older activities. Or our Discord down below, if you're looking for people to play with and never in certain activities, we have a fantastic community that will help. So the solution, core game activity offering and the portal. Core game activities are those accessed from the portal screen and together a selection of several dozen new and updated activities that tie into the current season theme and gameplay meta. Selection is updated every major update, and this includes current expansions and any running events. So here is a potential just look of what it may encompass, which we like to see, solo op, fire team op, pinnacle ops, crucible, and event. Basically just a little bit easier of a director that we can actually look at things and go into. So pinnacle ops, obviously, modes that we can go and get higher in gear at. So we like to see that one. As they said, it is subject to change, which makes sense. So challenge customization. This is what I was kind of most excited about reading up top, was just the ability to customize different activities. So major change to core game activities is that they all support deeper personal mastery and corresponding deep reward offering. We'll start with PvE activities and then dive into the Crucible and PvP, which presents unique challenges. That sounds chaotic, and I'm here for it. All of PvE activities will now support robust challenge customization exposed as new options alongside selecting the difficulty. So what I'm seeing over here, rewards, silver, basically this is your potential, what you can get. The more you customize it to the more difficult it can become, basically the better your rewards are going to be. Applying different modifiers kind of sounds like the Nightfall card from D1, making it just a little bit more challenging, which I'm totally here for it, because basically what that does is it gives us more of an incentive to replay core activities and just get better at the game. So if you're newer and you're playing at something that's advanced and starting kind of at the bottom, you can slowly work your way up to in-game content and just getting better and more familiar with the game and how it works. Super excited to see that. So basically, introducing new enemy combatant abilities to increase their threat. Awesome, because GMs right now, I know for a lot of people, have become kind of stale, depending on which Nightfall it can be. So doing something like that to make it harder is what I'm thinking. Introduce new combat challenges that change how you play, changing up the sandbox meta. Awesome. Provide incentives for changing up your build crafting. Raise the power target for the activity, globally increasing the difficulty. As a player, you'll first be able to select a base difficulty such as Expert or Grandmaster. The difficulty will set some base difficulty tuning and a power target, but more importantly will determine how many challenge modifiers you can add. In some cases, challenge modifiers are available. Higher difficulty means more modifiers to slot and a wider variety of them to choose from. So basically what they're saying is, we want you to play the game how you want to play it, which I think is what a lot of the community has been asking for. That's awesome. We love to see some change like that. So reward rating is increased by playing an activity at higher difficulty, applying modifiers, as well as having personal bonuses from sources like power, artifacts, or buffs. That sounds like the potion type thing that they had talked about previously, coming in, I think, episode 3. So here's how rating works. As a team, you'll earn team rating over the activity determined on a per activity basis. Sometimes this will resemble existing systems like Nightfall Score, but new activity types can also have their own way of determining team rating. The outcome is shared by all members and will try to mitigate competition between teammates for things like scoring kills or specific setups. So at the end of an activity, your team rating is multiplied by personal bonuses you have, which we love that. Gives you more as an incentive to just do better. This final multiplied value is your reward rating, and that value is used to determine the quality and quantity of rewards. Sweet. Reward rating is used to determine things like quality tier weapon. I'm sure they'll talk about that in the other gear insight. Quality of useful consumables like enhancement prisms or shards. Crucible, that's going to be a nightmare. It's a unique challenge because you cannot simply add modifiers or score the match as a team rating. Tricky problem we're still working out. We're working through options like factoring in matchmaking ratings or leveraging existing progression, but each presents unique challenges to our end goal of ensuring that Crucible offers PvP players a fair and complete path to high tier weapons and armor. That's a key takeaway from this one, because armor hasn't had much of a change other than like exotics getting artifice armor. So if they can do something to refresh how armor functions in the game, that would be awesome. What if mobility had something to do with handling? Words in my head. So super excited about that. No, old activities are not going away except for seasonal activities that are normally removed at the end of the year. Older activities will remain available to launch from Destiny map just like they are today. So nothing's going in a vault other than the typical seasonal stuff, which is I'm fine with. It's fine. Fire Team Finder may be a good way to pick up some slack here, or our Discord. So let's jump on into core game rewards, because they talked a little bit about what the activity changes could be like. Now let's look at what the reward changes could be like. So weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality across a wider range of activities. Core game activities will have dedicated reward pools for different categories of activities. Gear will be labeled new gear during the season it's introduced and is easier to recognize and build craft around. That right there just goes back into new players need more direction because of how complicated it is to get into Destiny for the first time. So that can be pretty helpful. For people that have been playing for a really long time, you're not going to care about that, but that's not what that's for. In the past Destiny seasons, only a narrow range of activities received updated rewards, leading to narrow selection of activities worth playing. Reward pools tended to not be very deep either, with the chase bottoming out of weapon perk rolls or crafted recipes, and armor not mattering much at all, which is very true. So the problems have resulted in shallow, unsatisfying grinds and a tiny subset of activities actually available to play with the best rewards being a matter of luck rather than skill or mastery, which is cool because yes, it is. Yeah, it's the luck chasing, kind of the RNG. But if you can enhance your potential to get more rewards for completing higher activities and doing better, basically putting more of the luck per se into your hands is super cool. We love to see that. Weapon and armor tiers. Legendary weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality tier that layer on properties like stat bonuses, enhanced perks, and other benefits. For weapons, this will be similar to how adept weapons upgrade the baseline legendary. Baseline tier of legendary weapons and armor will be equivalent to current day legendaries, with higher tiers being generally equivalent to adept weapons in terms of upgrade. So enhanced origin trait, enhanced mag, and enhanced barrel, that's a new change. Obviously it says tier 5, probably subject to change, but what I'm seeing out of this is you can enhance the whole damn thing. That's really cool. That just makes your gun better and then feel better. Yeah, that's exciting. I like that they added that change. Early mock-up, of course, subject to change, and higher tier weapons and armor will be available from the full range of core game activities as rewarded for higher challenge tiers and mastery of those activities. So reward pool are complete sets of weapons and armor available as rewards. Some weapons are shared across multiple pools, but the majority of weapons and armor are unique to a single pool, which makes playing different activities worth it if it's more unique to that. Typical pool is a full set of armor for each class and enough weapons to provide multiple options for each weapon slot. Perfect. Love it. Rewards are all available in tiers, so each reward pool is deep and supports a range of challenge in the activity that is associated with it. Perfect. Core PvE. What is going on? Why would that even pop open? Okay, thank you. And then I click that. Okay. Every expansion will also contain 2 full reward pools. Story, reward shared amongst missions, exploration activities, raid, and dungeon reward for expansion raid or dungeon activities. So, again, raids and dungeons still not going anywhere, which we love to see those those additions staying in the game. In addition to the above pool, some activities like events may be additional exclusive to that activity, such as individual weapons or armor sets. Makes sense with raid and dungeon gear. New gear basically is a blanket category for weapons and armor introduced in the current season regardless of its source. Facts and questions. Nope, nothing is being sunset. Love to see that. Same with activities minus that seasonal stuff. Old gear still is attainable. Weapon crafting is not going anywhere, but will continue to be a way to craft a specific role on a weapon. I get some people don't like crafting because it can chase out the RNG randomness. I don't hate it. If every weapon was craftable, it would be a different story, but there's not every weapon craftable. You still have to play the activities, get the red borders, and that can be a pain for a lot of people if you don't play a lot. So I don't care that weapon crafting is staying. And then let's dive into the portal real quick. Basically, the portal will offer several changes of activities with a wide selection of new and updated activities refreshed every 3 months with the major update. Activities in the portal will provide update and worthwhile rewards, so it'll be easy to find something to play. The destination map will be cleaned up and focused on world navigation and accessing older activities. So just better quality of life changes, basically. The Destiny map, also called the Director, is Destiny's activity browsing and selection screen. Over the years, it has grown very unwieldy, making it hard to find specifically what's current and worthwhile to play. Yes, it is. Again, just making it easier for everybody, including new people coming into the game, to understand what's happening and what they should be focusing on. So we do like that change. Kind of already looked at this one already. Basically, the design is quick and clean to access wide offering activities with updated rewards, as well as quick access to current expansion or event content. Activities will be grouped in categories. They expand and present a few dozen activities each. Categories are going to be solo ops, where 1 to 3 player activities requiring little time or social commitments. That's fantastic, because then it's saying you can do this quickly, and we have a very set, hey, this is where you can go if you don't have a lot of time to play, but you want to play. Activities are designed for solo players, yet are still fun with a fire team. Easy to pick up and play for a quick session. Awesome. Fire team ops, 3-player activities for matchmade or pre-made group, designed for fire teams with cooperation coordination, strikes, onslaught, the coil, and new types in the future. Flashpoint, ops, 6-player activities for matchmade or pre-made. Planned for a future season, this category will introduce later next year. It'll be a feature more chaotic 6-player combat-like offensives. Pinnacle Ops. 3-player activities featuring some challenging content, including dungeons, exotic missions, and full-length onslaughts. Pinnacle will have an exclusive reward pool to claim, but success is not guaranteed. And then, of course, there's the Crucible, which basically PvP, provide an opportunity to test your mettle against other Guardians. Exclusive reward pools available to claim with the same depth of tiers as other categories. So awesome to see that. In addition to categories, Portal will also provide direct access to expansion activities, as well as currently running events like Iron Banner, Festival of the Lost. Basically, it's here to streamline the objectives, like bounties or seasonal challenge. The aspect of the redesign, obviously still a work in progress, but the primary goal is to greatly reduce the chores that need to be done before diving into an activity. Bonus rewards. So every day, several activities in each category will have bonus rewards added to the standard offering. Rewards will include things like specific weapons, armor slots, currencies, enhancement materials, or strange coins. So we like to see that. That gives us more of an incentive to log in every day, because we don't know what specific weapon is going to come that day, armor slots, etc. It's guaranteed to be the first. A bonus reward is guaranteed from the first daily clear and available at high drop rates on future clears, which again, right there, makes it more replayable. So if you don't get it on the first clear, keep playing it, because it's going to have a high drop chance for future. Activities with bonus rewards will be sorted from top to easy and easy to find, so you can quickly scan what's available and decide if it's worth chasing. Again, older activities aren't going anywhere. What about Gambit? Gambit is still in the game. That's all I'm going to say about that. Will raids and dungeons be in the portal? Dungeon content will be featured in Pinnacle Ops, as talked about above. Raid content will not initially be present in Portal. The long clear times combined with a wide variation of experiences present some unique challenges that we're still working on. However, we are excited to get the content into the Portal offering in the future. Yeah, that definitely makes sense, keeping it out to start, because obviously it can range from a couple hours to a lot longer if majority or all people are unfamiliar with the mechanics and what the raid is. Again, Discord down below if you need to learn new raids, dungeons, whatever it may be. We're here to help. So let's go back to Frontiers. So our vision for the future of Destiny. Tyson Green coming in saying he's excited to speak about the team's vision. First and foremost, we still love Destiny. It's a unique, challenging game for you and us. Oh my God, it itches. He's been with Destiny for 15 years, and it excites him still creatively. We love to see that. There's not many games that you could say about it. At the same time, they recognize that the game has become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Yes, for the most part, it's very true. Seasons and episodes are getting bigger but can still feel like you're just going through the motions. So it's time for Destiny to change and evolve. With our community wants this game to grow and innovate too, and to do that, we need to start breaking some of the molds. It almost makes sense that they're doing this after the Light and Darkness saga is over. If you want to look at it that way, or you can look at it with everything that's happened around the company and the community as of recent years. Change is needed, and change, I think, is going to be welcomed by everybody. Obviously, not everyone's going to enjoy it or be a fan of it, but the game does feel stale in a lot of ways. So having some kind of something to shake it up is going to be really helpful. So starting with annual expansions, they're proud of the final shape, but the truth is they dominate almost all of the development time. So to free ourselves up to explore and innovate how we deliver Destiny 2 content so we can invest in areas of the game that will feel more impactful to players. Starting next year, instead of one big expansion, they're going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions, one every 6 months. Each of those will depart from the one-shot campaign structure that they've been using unchanged in Shadowkeep, and each will be an opportunity to explore exciting new formats. Love it. Love to see some change. I always like new expansions and new content. I play the game because I love the game. I play it. I'm still playing it and play it after the expansions and always have. But to shift it up a little bit and have even smaller, more often content drops, I think is going to be a lot healthier and will keep people playing more consistently over time rather than playing for a month while after the expansion releases and then just waiting another year to play again. So that's a good change on that part. Seasons, basically, with the change to 2 expansions per year, our seasonal model will be changing as well. Instead of 3 episodes, RIP. We'll be building 4 major updates per year, 1 every 3 months. Each expansion will launch alongside major updates at the start of the season, and the second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including strikes, exotic missions, entirely new modes, like Onslaught. Rewards are weapons, armor, artifact mods, exotics, and more. New weekly events, new features, combat meta, and balance updates. So more constant change is what they're saying, at least to me that's what it sounds like. And more frequent, which we love to see it. The big seasonal reset will still happen, but now twice a year alongside expansions. They want Destiny to be easier for everyone to play or recommend, which is what I've been saying this whole time. They want to make it easier for new people, especially. And I get us in general, but just make it easier for everybody. We need still need to talk about the Gore game itself. It's always been available, evergreen activity experience, and we need to fix 2 key things with it. Approachability. Again, Destiny's too complex. With literally hundreds of activities, you practically need a PhD to decide what to play or how to get rewards, or you just need to watch Asda Cross's YouTube. So let's modernize our activity UI, the director, and make it easier for everyone to find and launch integrated activities, reworking our reward model to make those offers meaningful. Deep dives on activities, and we already talked about those. Gear and challenge should matter. Each great activity stops mattering if the challenge dries up and the rewards aren't worth it. 100%. So if we're investing in greatly improving challenge customization, which we've gone into depth already about, to let the player of any skill range find the right challenge for them with the rewards to improve based on the challenge you take on. Fantastic, fantastic change. And it won't just be incoming damage increased either. The team is cooking up something great, gameplay modifiers that give enemies some exciting tools to mix things up on every run, which then also feels like it could make every run feel slightly different and unique based on which modifiers that you actually put into it. So it will change up your gameplay, which will force new build crafting ideas and just let you play the game in different ways. That way it stays more fresh. That's a fantastic thing to look forward to, because right now you can run into the Nightfall. It's the same Nightfall every single time you're doing it. I mean, the surges might be changed. The weapon surge will change, but at the end of the day, like, most of it's pretty much the same, which does become kind of stale because I could run every Nightfall with the same loadout. But forcing modifiers to change or having us change them is a cool thing. So 2 changes to help core gameplay experience to be easier to drop into and much deeper in terms of variety and pursuit of personal mastery. Starting point of ongoing changes aimed to continue to improve Destiny in those regards. The multi-year saga. Destiny's not going anywhere. I know there's been such a negative sentiment around the game recently. Um, but when I heard Destiny Frontiers, to me that said, hey, we're not making Destiny 3, and we said we weren't going to, because this essentially is Destiny 3. Right? A new multi-year saga. It's called Frontiers. The first expansion is called Apollo. Earth, Apollo mission, Moon, Destiny, our known universe, Apollo, outside the universe. Here I'm getting with that one. Basically what this is saying is there's some changes coming. New story, new destinations, new enemies, hopefully new enemy types, characters, etc. It doesn't make sense to make a Destiny 3 when you're just expanding on the greater Destiny universe and continuing it. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I really don't want to lose 7 years of progress and work and guns and armor and builds and fun that I've had. Let's just build on top of it rather than close the doors and open a new one and make you start from scratch. Unless they kill off our character and then start from scratch. That's the only thing that makes sense. Anyways, I'm glad they're expanding rather than starting fresh. So they're proud of the final shape. This is spoilers, by the way. For creating the Lightness and Darkness saga, we knew the episodes that would follow would act as an epilogue, tying up the saga, the Light and Darkness hanging threads, but also setting us up for what's next. Episode close doors and open new ones, purposeful ones, storylines that are set in place to prepare us for what comes next. What is our next saga? I don't know, but that looks cool. Those little balloon-looking things. You'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes and then fully kick off with codename Apollo. I have if I'm right, you have to like it. You have to come back and like this video if I'm right. The Dreadnought is going to be our ship that we take out. Or the Helm. I'd rather it not be the Helm, though. So this next saga also based around core themes, much like the Lightness and Darkness saga did. It'll introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. They didn't specify enemy races, but I'm hoping that's what factions mean. Because if we're going outside of the known universe, places we've never been, I better not just find a Vex out there, right? Want something new. First expansion is a non-linear character-driven adventure. So what do we mean by non-linear? Previously in Final Shape, in all those stories, you experience the story from A to B, B to C, C to D, in a straight line. Our story is going to take place over dozens of threads. There's that word again. They've used threads multiple times. I'm curious as to why. So when you land on a brand new location, the story can start at A, and then you can choose to explore C first, or try and get into B, or maybe just investigate D. So we like that. We like being able to hop around, play at your own pace also, and then kind of play how you want. And the options you didn't choose, not going anywhere, you can go back to them and play through because you'll need to. Probably in terms of tying up the whole story. Because the more you play and discover, the more story progresses. So you experience a certain number of threads. Why, Allison, do you keep using the word threads? Opens up the next part of the story in order for which you to explore. Will be something you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way that the story always makes sense and flows from beginning, middle to end. There's no time gating, no waiting for the next drop. Apollo unfolds based on player progression, which is what we've been asking about. And a lot of people were unhappy with the episodic model, is we want to play at our own rate, which we love to see that it's based on player progression. No time gating, no waiting for the next drop. Here's those balloons again. And blow it up. 2 moons and this giant looking sky thingy. But this is cool. It kind of looks like we're like going to crash land somewhere, but that has 2 moons. Awesome. Destiny at its best is at its best when it's a mystery, weird, and not afraid to try new things. To shift non-linear stories isn't something we're locking into, but a structure that fits Apollo best. The narrative structure of the release that follow will be quite different, a structure that suits the game, a structure to suit that game's experience, and will continue to innovate with each expansion across gameplay and narrative. So into the unknown. Basically, the rhythm of the story has become predictable, where characters in our world fail to change, which it's been very structured the same way for a very long time. Like they say, it's how they create a situation, not a story. So how can we innovate? By telling a story that keeps up with our innovation, not one that slows it down. That means an evolving world, giving space for new characters, growing and evolving factions, making sure the story we tell is in a world we have nurtured with characters who grow into them. Believing in a rewarding player for paying attention without punishing someone for not knowing something. So that way everyone gets to come along for the ride no matter how deep in the lore they are. You'll see the approach starting with episodes and continuing into the new multi-year story. So a multi-year arc, what does it look like? Think of it as a constellation of stories united by a single theme. We will show you what that theme is later, but suffice to say we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not a line, with each release fits into a larger saga. It's easy to spoil. I'm not going to run any details or what it's about, but I'll give you something to look forward to. Apollo ends with a narrative gasoline that will propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, goal, and a destination that won't come at you at a straight line, but will be well worth the trip. It'll reward you, it'll surprise you, and it'll take us places Destiny has never seen before. Apollo is a great fitting word for that expansion to see going to new places that we've never seen, and they'll tell us when the time is right. Well, we come to a close, more so a new beginning. Over the next few months, we'll be dishing out more deep dives and engaging in more conversation. We have no doubts about the above breakdown of Codename Frontiers. Plans will spawn far more questions than we can answer, but we'll be looking to keep you up to date as we take flight. Keep an eye out in the deep dive sections. We'll be adding links for further topics. Thank you again for joining us on the first 10-year journey in Destiny. First, does that mean they have a 10-year plan going forward? Could we be playing Destiny in 2034? Interesting. We've been through so much, battling the darkness and stopping the witness. Now it's time to look at the stars again. It's time to imagine, to dream big and explore what our futures can be within this universe. Okay. There we have it. So basically they're starting conversation with us 9 or so months early. Probably to get feedback, honestly. That would make a lot of sense, knowing that this change is going to be on paper, just prefacing that on paper, the change is going to be substantial in terms of multi-expansions per year, 4 major updates per year, shifting away from the typical yearly content drops that we see, as well as making it more non-linear in terms of story progression and playing at your own pace, but playing the way you want to be playing. I'm excited. Honestly, I think this is a fantastic outlook and idea that they have in mind. Obviously, there's execution in that, and I think coming off of the final shape and how great that was received, I think that they can pull this off. I'm sure there's going to be hiccups. It's change. It's not going to go smooth, of course. Hopefully the servers do. But at the end, like, this is cool. This is, we're expanding on what we have, taking what we know and kind of turning it inside out to saying, hey, here's a new universe, or here's a whole universe. Let's go explore it. We've been doing the same thing within a confined area for so long. Let's get out and see what else is out there. So I'm excited. That's all I have to say. Thank you all for checking out today's video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like. Join the Discord down below if you're looking for people to play with. Everyone there is super happy to help, and we do things, all types of activities in the game. Until then, I'll try to keep us all updated with what's coming in the near future as things get released. So be sure to look out for those. Other than that, I'll see you all in the next one.